Hmm. Okay. So hope everyone are doing good. Hi. So, okay. By the way, did you completed your practicals? Done. Super. WIPA, work in progress. Huh? Create a read replica is grayed out. So you have to wait until that status is available. Why? Oh, yes. So, okay. If you take the backup, then read replica will come. So, did you enable automatic backup? Enable that automatic backup and then read replica will come. Okay. So, how about online, guys? Did everyone completed RDS? Okay. If not, so please take your time and complete it. And today, what we're gonna do is, yesterday we learned about RDS, correct? And today, what we're gonna do is, guys, if you want to increase the performance of your application or database in RDS, what do we create? Read replicas we create, correct? Maximum how many read replicas can create? 5. If at all, if you want to increase the performance of your application, then what you should implement? There are 2 ways. You can scale up and then create a read replicas. And then multi is for high availability, for increasing the performance. We can add another service in between. What is that? What is that? Elastic cache. Remember Elastic cache, right? So we will be talking about Elastic cache today. Elastic cache is a very small and simple service. Okay. And also this Elastic cache is mostly used by the developers. Mostly used by the developers. Because where you have an application, let's say you have some application. Your application generally will talk to whom? RDS. Your application will talk to RDS and get the data. And who will say to whom to talk? Developer only, he need to write the code, no? In the application, you need to write the code. Babu, go and talk to RDS. So, let's say your customers are accessing your data frequently. All those frequently data, is it recommended to get it from RDS again and again? Same frequently data? No. In between, what we can implement? Elastic cache. So in application itself, we need to tell Babu, go to Elastic cache or go to RDS. So as an architect, as an AWS engineers, do we go and write anything in the application to talk to RDS and talk to Elastic cache? No. What we will be doing here is, we'll go and set up Elastic cache. We will learn what is Elastic cache, what is the architecture, how to implement it, and then rest we will leave it to the developers. So it is a developer's choice. Okay, how to do it. So from here, from a console point of view, we will learn how to go and deploy or implement the Elastic cache. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper on this Elastic cache. Guys, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Guys, if someone say what is Elastic cache, what do you say? What is Elastic cache? What is that single line answer that we have learned? Huh? Can we say it is an in-memory caching database? Can we say that? It's a in-memory database caching. So can I call it as? Okay. Can I call it as? It is in-memory database caching service. Chidi, what is cache? What is cache? Cache meaning all frequently accessed data is stored at this place. That is called the cache. No, not swap memory at all. It's completely different. Okay, let's see how we can design this. Guys, let's say this is your application. Which one is this? Application. This is your application. This is the application. So application will be connected to whom in the backend? To the database. And what is the database here? What is the database? RDS only, no? Application will be connected to your RDS. So generally, application will be connected to the RDS that we know that we have learned. But if you want to increase the performance, and if you know that customers are using lots of frequently accessed data, then what you can implement in between? You can implement in between Elastic Cache. Okay. This is Elastic Cache. Guys, Elastic Cache supports 2 engines. Remember what are those? Elastic Cache supports 2 engines. No. Check it. In our starting days, we have learned. That is also a certification question. No. Rao has already answered, but check it in your book. Book mein check karo. In our starting, we have learned. Which one? Redis and Memcached. What are those 2 things? Redis and Mem. Don't forget, this is a certification question. So in Elastic Cache, you don't get much certification questions, but if at all they ask this. What are the 2 engines that you support? What are those? Redis and Memcached. Guys, by the way, this Elastic Cache is also a database only, no? It's also it's a database. So what are the things that it supports? It supports Redis and Memcached. So either you can go with Redis or either you can go for the Memcached. Like in RDS, how many engines are there? 6 engines. Similar, can you go to any engine based on your requirement? Similarly, here also in Elastic Cache, based on your requirement, you can go for Redis, or based on requirement, you can go for Memcached. But I'll soon tell the difference between Redis and Memcached, which one to select. Okay. Okay. Now you tell me, guys, here. So now application wants to get some data from the database. Now tell me, based on this architecture, first it will check with Elastic Cache or directly will go to RDS. Excellent. So when application needs something, first it will check to whom? It will check with Elastic Cache. So it will check whether cache is there or not. So if cache is hitting, then who will give this? Elastic Cache will give the data back to the application. Does it need to go to RDS? No need. It doesn't need to go to RDS. For now, let's say, for example, application is asking for some data, and then it is asking, obviously, it is asking the Elastic Cache. What if cache missed? What is if cache is missed? From where to whom we need to talk? Yes. Then this application will go and get the data from RDS. Read from RDS. And RDS will give back the data. RDS will give back the data to the application. Okay. Once the RDS has given back the data to the application, what does this application will do again? Whatever the data that it got from RDS, again it will go and write it to the Elastic Cache, because that is a missed data, no? it will go and write it in the cache. Write to the cache. Do you all understood the architecture? So all these things will be written where? In the application. And from the application level, first it has to go and check with the Elastic Cache. And if the cache is there, get it and use it. If the cache is not there, go to RDS and then get the data. And that the same data, again, you go and put it in the Elastic Cache. Who should do this? Developer should do this. It is not your job. What is our job is, we know how to set up RDS and we know how to set up Elastic Cache. Similarly, you go and set it up and give it to them. They will take care of it. Is it clear? Super. So, and there are two types of engines. What are those two engines? Number one is Redis and number two is Memcached. So guys, generally many people have the same question. Sir, which one to use? Should we use Redis or should we use Memcached? Should we use Redis or Memcached? So guys, I'll tell you the properties. You only tell me which one to be used. So Redis supports high availability. Redis support high availability. Failover is there. It supports HA and then failover. And then Redis supports backups. Redis supports backup. Guys, the Redis is nothing but database only, no? All your frequently accessed data is storing in the Elastic Cache. Elastic Cache is nothing but a database. Redis is a database. Can you take the backup of your Redis? Yes. And mainly, data is persistent. What is that? Data is persistent. What is the meaning of persistent? Permanent. So, if you stop and start the Redis engine, the data is deleted, data is not deleted. That are the characteristics of Redis. Whereas Memcached, it doesn't support HA, no failover, no backup. Data is not persistent. Data is persistent in Memcached. If you go and stop and start the Memcached engine, the data is lost or not lost? It's lost. So now tell me, which one would you prefer? Redis is the most common database, in-memory database. You can use it. So it's purely depend upon your requirement. I'm not saying you have to go with Redis. If you're not, because it is frequently accessed data, no. So if you don't worry about the backups and all, go with Memcached. Which one is cheaper? Memcached is cheaper because it is not giving so many features, right? You just create it, go ahead and then create it and then use it. Simple. Clear? Getting it, everyone? Online? Is it clear, everyone, till here? Sisima? Non-IT chitties? Nice. Very good. Very good. Now tell me one certification question. This Elastic Cache is mostly used for read purpose or write purpose? That is a certification question. Elastic Cache is mostly used for read purpose. And if you want to increase the performance of the application, use Elastic Cache. So Elastic Cache is mainly used to increase the performance of your application, guys. And now this Elastic Cache, basically, it can be a temporary, it can be a permanent. If you want to go for temporary, Memcached. Permanent meaning Redis. Now, developers, you guys use session data, na? Session data. Let's say you have logged into any application. Let's say Sheriff has logged into some application. And Sheriff will be doing so many operations in that application. So his session should be there. No, session should be established and his same with username and password. He need to do all the operations. So that session data generally you store in cookies. Generally you store, developers, you guys store in the cookies. So instead of that, can you store in Elasticache? Yeah. Can you store it in Elasticache, guys? Yes, you can store it. So guys, that is also certification question. So Elasticache can handle session data. Can handle session data. And this Elasticache support encryption also? Obviously, database. So I told you there are two types of encryptions. What are those? Huh? Two types of encryptions. I'm not asking which service. In general, encryption are two ways. We discussed in S3. Huh? Online encryption can be done in two ways. Huh? That is S3 level. But I'm saying in general. In the same topic only I discussed. Open. Huh? One more is also there. Check it. Let them see. Let the others see. Divya already answered, but yeah. Correct? Should I? See, in S3, we'll discuss. No? You're writing this my big book, Grandam, right? Big notes. See. There is a heading called encryption. Don't tell me at that time I was absent, sir. Huh? Okay, what are those two things? In transit and data at rest. Don't forget this. So this is in general. In general, encryption can be done in two ways, Nana. Okay, one way is in transit. What is the meaning of in transit? While data is moving. So how can you encrypt it using HTTPS? When the data will be moving in the HTTPS only, no? So that is in flight. What is that called? In flight or in transit encryption. And what is another one? Data at rest. When the data is sitting quietly in some place like volumes, S3, EFS, RDS, Elasticache, all these things we call it as data at rest. So you have the data in one place. On top of it, you do the encryption. So there are two ways, in transit. In transit can be achieved using HTTPS and data at rest can be achieved using KMS. Very good. And the two, you can do it in the Elasticache. So generally, most of the database supports your both encryptions. So that is also a certification question, guys. Elasticache support encryption. What encryption? In transit and data at rest. Okay. Got it? So now, as I said, this Elasticache is mostly used by the developers, right? From the application level, they will be using it. So I'll tell you, there are multiple strategies that developers can use. So I'll talk about developer strategies. Developer strategies. So how does the developer will use? There are two types of strategies. So we call it as in this Elasticache language, we say lazy loading. What is this called? Lazy loading. Lazy loading meaning load your data whenever it is necessary. How I draw the architecture? No, just now I drew the architecture, right? Application first it will talk to whom? Elasticache. If cache is there, is fine. If the cache is not there, then it will talk to RDS. Load the data whenever it is necessary. If it is there, it will load. If it is not there, it doesn't load. And if it is not there, it will get it from the RDS. So this is called lazy loading. What is this called? Lazy loading. So load the data whenever it is necessary. This is called lazy loading. It's called lazy loading. And then one more thing we have it, which is called write through. What is this called? Write through meaning from the starting itself, your application is writing the data on both RDS and Elasticache parallelly. Your application, it is purely depend upon the developer only, no? How he do the coding, right? Whatever the writes that happening, parallelly he can write it to the RDS also, parallelly you can write it to the Elasticache also. So if you are parallelly writing, is there any chance that cache is missed? No way. You have 100% data on both the databases, right? Cache will never miss. So it is up to the developer whether he want to go with the lazy loading or you go with the write through. What is lazy loading? Are you writing on the both databases parallelly in lazy loading? No. You will be writing into the RDS and whenever you're necessary, you're writing into the Elasticache. But whereas in the write through, you are writing parallelly both on the both databases. Parallelly writing on the DB and then cache. Is it clear, guys? So in this screens, 100% similar data on both DB and EC. EC meaning? Why I write Elasticache? RDS and Elasticache. Is it clear, guys? Still here, everyone? Clear? Clear? Easy, no? So now, which databases that we need to talk? Which is the engine? Redis, right? Redis is the most commonly used. Memcached, there is nothing much there in Memcached. So mostly it is Redis. So should we go a little bit deeper into the Redis? How is the Redis? What is the Redis architecture and all? Let's see. So guys, in Redis, we have two things. Cluster mode enabled and cluster mode disabled. What are the two things? Cluster mode enable and cluster mode disable. So this is a cluster. And this is a cluster. So cluster mode enable and cluster mode disable. So before I talk about cluster, so first I need to talk about what is cluster? Group of nodes or group of servers, group of EC2, group of RDS, group of servers basically. Here cluster meaning I call it as group or collection. Collection of shards. What I call collection of shards. What is that called? What is that word? Shards. What is that called? Shards. Shards. Say that. Collection of shards. So generally that is called cluster. And we need to know what is shard, no? Shard is nothing but, this is nothing but collection of nodes or servers. Generally, we call collection of nodes is called cluster, but in this case, collection of nodes, we call it as shard And that collection of shard is called cluster. Important. Please register in your brains. What is cluster? Collection of shards. And what is a shard? Collection of nodes. That meaning shards will have the nodes, right? So each shard has how many nodes? 6 nodes. How many nodes now? 6 nodes. One primary node and 5 replica node. Very important. Guys, one shard contains how many nodes? 6 nodes. What are those? One primary node and then 5 replica node. One primary and 5 replica. Primary is mandatory. How many maximum replicas you can have? 5. Can you have 1 also? Can you have 2 also? Yes. Now you all understood what is a shard here? Okay. So now this is cluster. Cluster is a collection of shards, correct? So should I go and can I say this is one shard? And shard has how many nodes? 6 nodes. One primary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abba. What is there is a question Mishra is asking. Shard is a server. Shard is a collection of servers. What is a server called? Node. What is a server called? Node. The collection of nodes is called shard. And how many primary you have? One primary. And how many replicas? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this primary is getting connected to all the replicas. So can I say this is one shard? Yes. So in cluster, can you have multiple shards like this? Like this. Yes. Cluster mode disable meaning, do you have a number of shards? How many shards you can have? Only 1. Only 1. So in cluster mode disable concept, how many primaries you can have? You can have 1 primary. And how many nodes you can have? I mean, how many replica nodes? 5 replica nodes. Is it clear? It is as that simple as that, guys. So if you want to go and set up Redis, you have the concept of clusters and shard concept. So what is a shard? Shard is a collection of nodes. How many nodes per shard can have? 6. 1 primary and 5 replica nodes. And what is cluster? Collection of shards. If you are going for the cluster, you can have almost approximately 500 shards you can have in one cluster. How many? 500. Just imagine how much load it can take. And as we are talking about Redis, does it handle high availability failover automatically? It will handle automatically failovers and all. And also, it also has endpoints. Primary has endpoint and read replicas can also have a endpoint. Is it possible to write in the replica nodes? No, it is only for read purpose. And where you can write in here, where you can write it in primary. You can write it in primary. Rest are all 5 are replicas. You can read it from there. So see how the load is getting shared. So you write only on the primary and automatically AWS will get replicated to the replicas and you read it from the replicas. And how many replicas you can have? 5 you can have. In one shard you can have 5. Like this, you can have multiple hundreds of shards. Just imagine in the big enterprise level, how much big it will be and how much performance will it give. Is it clear, guys? Still here, everyone? Did I made elastic cache easy? People generally cannot visualize elastic cache. So I hope I made it very clear. Now what we do is we'll go to actually we don't need to do anything on the console, but let's go to the console and see how to create elastic cache. Either it can be memcached, either it can be a Redis. Should we go and create it? As we have learned about RDS, I am telling you rest everything will be easy. Right? Can you repeat 500 shards? Chitti, in one cluster, how many shards you can have? Generally, what is cluster? Mishra, what is cluster? Collection of shards. How many shards? 500 shards approximately. Okay. So any other questions meanwhile? So let me log into the console. And by the way, should I give you one small script code where how it is getting connected? I'll show you. You know, right? I don't like going with the PPTs. Copy. I give one example here. This is one sample code. This is a sample code, guys. Application code. This is in Python. In which language it is? Python. So I have a concept called here save user. What is the user ID? 17. And what is the username? Kevin. So it is all key value methods. It's all key value. Data is stored in key value method here. So get user, in which user ID he is getting? 17. 17 meaning whose user ID? Kevin. So now we have two types of strategies we learned. What are those? Write through and lazy load. What is lazy load? Load whenever necessary. That meaning, guys, see me here. Lazy load meaning first it will talk to whom? First it will talk to elastic cache. If the cache is missed, then it will go to RDS. So here he is getting user, right? First he is checking record is equal to cache.get. That meaning this guy is hitting whom? Cache, elastic cache it is hitting. Let's say if the record is none, that means you are not getting any data from your RDS, then he will do a query to your RDS. Select star from users where user ID is, we have the global variable as 17. And then you get and then put the data value in the record, where record is a variable here. So now once you got it, again what you're doing? You're writing it to the cache. So once the cache is missed, it is going and getting it from the RDS, and again it is writing on the cache. What is this called? Lazy loading. So get from cache first. If the miss, get from database and then set it in the cache. Whereas in write through, yes, parallelly, now you are saving the user details. You are saving in database and also you're setting the cache both parallelly. And that is called write through. You understand now? From developer point of view, how they will be connecting and using it. So you can use Python, Java, .NET, any language, you can use it and you can connect to the Elastic Cache and do these kind of things. You understood Python also now? Huh? Nice. Okay. So let me log in. Okay. So I have logged in, and Elasticache is regional or global? Did I say global? If I don't say, that is regional. So let's go to Elasticache. Okay. And you see here we have Elasticache. On the left side, do you see Redis cluster, Memcache cluster? Can you reserve the nodes? Reserve. RDS also we can reserve instances. You can reserve it. You can take the backups. And we did discuss parameter groups, subnet groups, and all. These are all quite normal. So let's go to Memcached first. On the left side, you have Memcached cluster. Should we go and create Memcached cluster and see what are the things we have? So you want this Memcached cluster in your AWS or in your on-premises AWS, but you can set it up on your on-premises also if required. Select this. Otherwise, go for AWS cloud and call it as my test mem cache d. Okay, give this name. Description is fine. Engine is this engine version. Automatically AWS will give. What is the port number? 11211. Do you change this port number? Don't change. Parameter goes default. Node type. So Memcached contains nodes only, right? So here node type, how much big node that you want, you go and select. How in RDS also we selected instance type, no? Similarly, you go for the instance type. But here, which one we should go for? T2 micro. Should we take T2 micro? Yes. And how many nodes? Guys, maximum how many nodes we can have? So you see quotas for Elastic. Did we discuss about the quotas? There is a service called, okay, by the way, how many nodes per region you can have? 300 nodes. Where in Memcached? In Memcached, how many nodes you can have, guys? So there is a service in AWS called quotas. Service quotas. What is this? Service quotas meaning, I told you, for each and every resource, there is a soft limit. For each and every resource, for each and service, there is a limit. So if you want to know those limits, you can check it from the service quotas. So let's say, for example, we have EC2. EC2 we completed, no? So AMIs, how many AMIs you can have? How many maximum AMIs you can have? 50. That is a soft limit. Can you increase this? Yes. Select this. And then on top, request quota increase. Create a ticket with AWS and increase. And do you see this here? Adjustable is yes. If you see yes, that meaning your soft limit can be increased. But let's say, how many VPCs you can create? 5. Can you increase that? So, and if you come down, how many elastic IPs? Maximum elastic IPs? 5. Did we learn? How many elastic IPs are free? 5. Can you increase that to higher? Yes. So like this, go to each and every service. Now let's go to which service? Elasticache. Huh? Elasticache. Elasticache. Nodes per cluster. So in Memcached, it says 60. Adjustable, you can increase it. Nodes per region, how many you can have? 600. And in Redis, in one shard, how many nodes you can have? 6, no? 1 primary and 5 regular. Can you increase those? No, you see? So this is the service called service quota. If at all you have any doubts on your limits, go and check from here. Okay? So please write down in your book, service quotas in put as heading, service quota. Service quotas. Service quotas is a AWS service. Service quotas is a AWS service where you can find the soft limits of the AWS resources. where you can find the soft limit of the AWS resources service wise. In next point, if required, you can increase the soft limit. If required, you can increase the soft limit by creating a ticket with AWS. If required, you can increase the soft limit by creating a ticket with AWS. Okay. Nice. So, okay, come back here. Do I need to put 300 here? No. So I'll put only 1. Okay. So subnet group, there's already subnet group, default subnet group, no? Selected. And 1A and 1B is there. And your node should be in which availability zone? You can specify one availability zone. Guys, how many nodes? Let's say, for example, here you put 5. Do you see here? You get 5 nodes. And you can say all these 5 nodes can be in which availability zone? You can put it. But here, I'll just go with only 1. So 1 mini, can I put it in 1A? Yes. Click on next. Did I told you encryption in transit? Yes. But this is memcached. So you don't have all these options here. Okay. And then select security group. Which security group? Default security group. And in default security group, which is a protocol, which is a port number that you need to allow? We see 11211 is there. No, you need to allow that in module. Maintenance, no preference, tags, that's fine. If you want to send the notifications, select any of the notification. Click on next. That's it, guys. Click on create. Easy. I told you now. It will be very easy. So this is memcached, which is we know how to create it. Should we go and create it on the Redis? On the left side, go to Redis cluster, and Redis cluster has little bit more. See, click on Redis cluster creator. Oh, do you see this here? Easy creator, configure and creator, restore backups. So configure and then create. Easy create meaning it will easily it will do. So configure and create. Let's see. I told no cluster mode enable disable concept. So if you go for cluster mode disabled, how many shards you can have? Only 1. Super. And how many nodes you can have? 6 nodes. So, and if you go for cluster mode enabled, you can have multiple shards and each shards can have 6 nodes. Should I go with the disable first? Okay, let's say I'll go with the enable now. So I'll give the name test, and it is in AWS called multi-AZ. What is multi-AZ? High availability. No, we discuss in RDS. Same concept here, right? Do you enable multi-AZ? But I told you Redis supports high availability. Redis supports high availability and failovers. So this is multi-AZ. Don't enable it. Auto failover inbuilt in blood only. Auto failover is there. Engine version, port number, and node type. Select the node type. Here, number of shards. Guys, cluster mode, what I have enabled. Cluster mode is enable. If you are enabling cluster mode, that means you need to give the number of shards, no? So here I'm giving number. Let's say how many shards you can create? 500. Let's say I'm giving 5 shards. In each shard, right? In each shard, how many replicas that you need? How many we can have? Maximum 5. Fantastic, fantastic. Maximum 5. So can you put 3 if required? Yes. And if you come down, do you see this? How many shards we have selected? 5. And primary, it says no preference because you have selected equal distribution. If I select custom distribution, I mean here specify availability zones. Do you see? Can you specify your availability zone? Yes, primary should first shard 1, primary should be in which availability zone? Anyways, this has already automatically selected different availability zones. So like this, how many starts you can have? 500 starts, and each start can have 5 replicas. But do you create this many now? No, let's go. We don't even cluster mode enable. I don't go. Let's go with cluster mode disable concept, because customer enable is chargeable. So select the disable and call it as my Redis cluster. Do you enable multi-AZ? If you want auto failover, select it. Otherwise, no need. This is fine. All these are fine. No, what is the port number? 6379. Node type, which one we need to select? T2 micro. And cluster mode disable I have selected. That meaning how many starts you can have? Only one. That meaning how many nodes you can have? 5 nodes. Nodes, replica nodes, 5. In total, 6. Primary we should not count. So nodes meaning here, how many replicas, number of replicas he is asking. How many can have? 5. So how many should I put it here? Should I put 2? Okay, put 2. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. And this is one primary, and replica 1, replica 2 is distributed. Click on next. I told you now, encryption at rest, encryption in transit. I told you, encryption at rest meaning you will get it from KMS, and in transit meaning you will get with the HTTP. So in real time, it's just matter of clicks. You can enable the security here, encryption. Otherwise, not. And which our security group? Default security group selected. This Redis supports automatic backups. Redis. Does a Redis support backups? Yes, right? Redis supports the backup. So enable automatic backups. If you want backups, select it, enable. Otherwise, not it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. If you want logs, select the logs. Otherwise, no. Click on next and then click on create. Easy? Very easy, huh? So it will take little bit, lot of time to get created. And let me go to memcached. So memcached is created. It's available state. So if you select this, if you go to actions, modify, change all the settings if required, reboot and delete. If you click on view details or this one, both are same. Click on it. And then do you see the endpoint here? This is the endpoint. This is the endpoint that you need to give it to your developers. And how many nodes are there here? How many nodes? This is this is primary, guys. This is how many nodes here? Only one node, 0, 0, 0, 1. If you want to connect this node, use this endpoint. Right? Use this endpoint. So metrics, you know, right? The monitoring. So how it is performing, what is the CP utilization of your nodes and all, you will get it. Network and security, we have selected security groups. Everything is same. Maintenance is related to your backups. So nothing. So give this endpoint to the developers. Redis is still creating, and we have global data stores. As the name says, create global data source. It is global data source, meaning you can replicate to another region. So create global data source, cluster mode enable, disable, and then you can select in which class, in which region you can replicate the cluster. In which region you can you understood what is global data store? By default, in which region we have here cluster? Mumbai region. And if you want the same data to be available in Ireland region or any other different region, you can go with the global data store. But don't create it, it will be charged. But do you all understood how to select it? The same information. That's it. Reserve meaning, can you go and purchase your reservation? Yes. Backups, If you take the memcached backups, the backups will come here. You can restore it, you can copy it, you can delete it. Simple. So, and guys, and here you have user management. You can create the users if required. Create the users here itself and assign it to the which cluster that you want. And using this username and password, they can log in. Can you manage the groups also? Team wise, you can create the groups. Users, you can manage it. So guys, this will take a lot of time. And what are the actions it has? Modify, backup, reboot, migrate the data from one endpoint to another endpoint. So you have multiple endpoints, no? Multiple nodes. So multiple shards. You can go for it. Stop data and delete it. If you go inside this primary endpoint, did we got the endpoint? No, because it is still creating, no? And you have the reader endpoint. So we have one master and two replicas. So automatically you will get the endpoints here. You can connect using that endpoints. Do you all understood? Clear? I know it is very easy, but I'll give one task here. Ready? You are up to date, no, on the task already. So little bit different. Launch one Linux EC2 instance, Red Hat. From that Linux EC2 instance, I want you to connect to the Redis cluster. Interesting, no? From Linux. What? Difficult, huh? Just a matter of 3-4 commands. Should I give the link or will you try? Huh? Try it out. Okay. So you go to here, guys. You go here. See, I'm saying I'll not give, but I'm showing you. Huh? Connect Redis. Redis. Connect AWS Redis from Linux. Linux. Guys, connect to the Redis cluster. Can't you do this? Are you using Amazon Linux 2 or Linux? So select whichever the flavor that you are using it. What you need to do is you need to install Redis CLI. Actually, I thought I should not show you this, but that's fine. So you need to install first what Redis cluster, but you go with the Amazon Linux 2. Let's see whether it has a Red Hat. So if it doesn't have Red Hat, do you know how to launch Amazon Linux? Which AMI? First or second? Second one. It's free only, no? It's free only. So launch that and then run these commands. This is Amazon Linux 2. Go with Amazon Linux. Run these commands. And then use this command. You see primary endpoint. What is the primary endpoint here? It is still creating. Do you see primary endpoint? Do you see the endpoint here? Select that endpoint. Put it. Do you know the port number of your Redis? 62 something is there, no? Huh? Yes or no? In your security group also, make sure that you need to add that inbound rule. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay. And then these are the sample commands that you can run in Redis. Set x is equal to hello. That meaning what x meaning here? Hello. And get x meaning you get hello. You're setting the cache, just small variable. But you know to go just run these commands. That is fine. Okay. Can you do this? It's just a matter of executing these commands and then these things, these two things. Okay. I'm giving this URL to you. Understood, ma? Redis, Elastic Cache. Any questions? Mishra, instead of asking me 6379 question mark. Hmm. 6379. Okay. And while configuring also it shows no create Redis cluster. Okay. Money. Okay. Somewhere it's okay. 637. Okay, ma. Will you able to do it? Elastic Cache. Any questions, guys? Should I go and delete this now? So good. It will. Okay. Now it is available. Yeah. See here, it is available. So go here inside it. And do you see this primary endpoint? This is primary endpoint, and this is replica, and this is replica. So if you want to write, you can write it here. If you want to read, you can read it from here. So it is up to your application to which endpoint that you need to connect. If you want to write, use this. If you want to read, use this. For some applications, use this. It's up to you. Okay. And also you have options, guys, here. Did we learn about promote option? What is promote? In RDS. If you want to promote from replica to a normal standalone server, you can promote it. So we have here replica. No, can you promote this? Yes, if you click on promote, apply immediately, promote, and then this will become a primary. Whichever you want to become the primary, you can make it primary. You can reboot the particular node, you can delete the particular node, you can add nodes if required, but don't add. 2 is more than sufficient here. And also here, service updates is here. Service updates meaning AWS will send you some patches. What's that? Like how we have Windows Update. Similarly, because this engine is completely managed by whom? AWS only, no? So AWS will send you some patches. So at the moment, no service updates found. If at all you have any updates, AWS will send the updates, select it, and then have a nice maintenance window and then update the patch so that your engine is secure and safe in real time. Yeah, got it? Any questions online? So meanwhile, I'm just going and cleaning it up. Well, do you create a backup? No. So deleting, select this and then delete. Any questions here? Any questions? So tomorrow, what we're gonna do is what is that? Yes. So many people asked to teach DynamoDB. Okay. Have you heard about DynamoDB? Huh? How come? It's a NoSQL service, no? It's a NoSQL service. This DynamoDB is completely used by the developers only. This is also a developer service. There is nothing as an architect, as an engineer, as an admin, we go and do it. But what we will be going and doing it in DynamoDB, we go and create the DynamoDB things. And then what are the options it has, how to take the backup, secure, manage it. We'll see all those things. Okay. Even though it is not our core service as it is developers, but still I'll try my best to make you understand the developer topic on the DynamoDB also tomorrow. Okay. Super. Can you give the final CC for today, please? Slides, I'll upload it in the classroom. Oh, take the screenshot, guys, first of all. Let me know once done. Okay, and next. Okay, and if you want this also, you can use it. Okay, can you get the final CC for today, guys? CC with smile. Tomorrow, don't miss the class. Okay, because you should be in the position to teach developers what is DynamoDB. Okay, great. So that is all, guys, for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day, and see you tomorrow. Good night.